Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world, online at Z107.7fm.com. This is your Z107.7 local news for Sunday, February 25th, 2024. The presidential primary election is coming up on March 5th. Voter information pamphlets should have already arrived in your mailbox if you're registered to vote. If you haven't registered yet and you didn't send in your application, it needed to be postmarked by February 20th to get in before this election. Once you receive your ballot, you'll have until March 5th to decide on the presidential primary right alongside the local elections and measures. Locally, one of the most visible issues on the ballot in the Morongo Basin is Measure W, which, if passed, would repeal the Fire Protection District 5 Special Tax, or FP5. Z107.7 reporter Mike Lipsitz has put together a timeline of the controversial FP5 tax. This is a brief overview of the measure, but we'll have all of Mike Lipsitz's reporting on our website. In June of 2018, the county created a protest vote to expand the Fire Protection 5 district to include all of the county's unincorporated areas, which would mean all property owners in the area would have a $157 assessment with an annual 3% increase and no cap. In August of 2018, then San Bernardino County Fire Chief Mark Hartwig told affected communities that the expansion and assessment will help the county fire close a $29 million budget shortfall. 1 month later in September, a 30-day protest vote amongst property owners began. Those opposed to the expansion and tax were required to procure a protest form, fill it in, provide envelope and stamp, and mail it. 50% of the property owners would have had to respond to stop the tax. Fewer than 3% sent protest votes. In November of that same year, 2 lawsuits were filed seeking preliminary injunctions to stop the fire fee. They argued it's a tax and should require 2/3 of voter approval. The plaintiffs are Red Brennan Group and community groups from Homestead, Lucerne, and Johnson Valleys. The lawsuits fail. In November of 2020, voters narrowly defeat Measure U, which would have repealed the FP5 fee. By January of 2022, Red Brennan gathers enough signatures to obligate supervisors to repeal the FP5 tax or submit initiative to voters on the June ballot. It's placed on the ballot as Measure Z and passed in June of 2022, but a judge ruled that Red Brennan's characterization of the tax as unconstitutional was incorrect and falsely presented, overturning the results of Measure Z. This is the third time that FP5 has been on the ballot. The tax generates $47.5 million a year, roughly 19% of the county fire's budget. A no vote keeps the tax in place, and a yes vote will repeal it. You can find all of Mike Lipsitz's reporting on the FP5 tax, along with some links to voting information, all on our website, z1077fm.com. It's been a nicer weekend, so that's a good reminder that spring is coming, which means a busier visitation season for Joshua Tree National Park. The final visitation numbers for 2023 were up 7% over 2022 at a record-breaking 3,282,575 visits. The National Park wants to remind everyone that the park is busiest on weekends and holidays, so plan midweek trips, buy a digital pass, and arrive before 10 a.m. to avoid long lines. That's your news for Sunday. Reporting out of Joshua Tree, California, alongside the award-winning Z107.7 News team, I'm Robert Hayden.